They excelled at their craft. Pillaging and plundering. Taking what they wanted, not caring about their victims. There are powerful forces at work in California and Congress that rival the ruthlessness of those who sailed under this flag. It comes from the sky, collects in the mountains in the form of snow. It's gathered in large reservoirs for distribution to cities, agriculture, and when it's convenient, nature itself. Money. It often feels like it's the life force for survival. The true life force is water. That is why water is deemed to be a public trust resource. It belongs to all of us.
Here's the Central Valley Project today. Over 20 dams and reservoirs to store.
But over decades, the will of special interest groups and private citizens, helped by politicians interested more in currying favors than protecting the public's resources, have created a Frankenstein's monster of water policies. There is a complicated, murky chess game in play that has as the endgame a dangerous goal. That goal is to change the rules about water so that a critical public resource becomes privatized.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, let me just say thank you very much.
The players involved in the game of legislation are powerful, wealthy interests. They are pursuing public policy initiatives and working to pass the $11 billion water bond.
This is without any doubt the most comprehensive water infrastructure package that was passed here at 6 o'clock in the morning.
They are depending on its complexity to overwhelm you. They have carefully devised a comforting name for their legislation: the Safe, Clean, and Reliable Drinking Water Act of 2010. Words designed to prevent voters from questioning the actual intent of the measure. Words meant to dissuade any critical look at the details and the negative impact to the state budget and the state's fragile ecosystems.
The fresh water that's captured in California, only about 20% of it actually goes to the cities. The rest of it goes to agribusiness, which is traditionally teamed with the water districts in Southern California to get these gigantic taxpayer-funded systems built, largely to the advantage of agribusiness. And agribusiness is not only sucking up the lion's share of the water, but it's poisoning it at the same time by dumping its swill back into the state water system. It's like hooking your sewage system up with your drinking supply system.
This will build water storage above the ground and below the ground water storage.
The economics of it are totally insane. They're tapping into the general fund, so we're going to keep reducing the number of teachers, we're going to keep raising college tuition, we're going to keep cutting programs for disabled people in California to funnel several million acre feet of Northern California water around the problem-plagued delta and ship it into the western San Joaquin Valley for agribusiness, and the rest of it will go to Southern California so we can build yet more subdivisions in the middle of a desert.
From the White House in the office of the President of the United States, we present an address by Dwight D. Eisenhower.
The time was January 1961. President Dwight David Eisenhower asked the nation's broadcast networks for television and radio time to make a farewell address to the country. His remarks came unexpectedly and forcefully. He warned of the dangers of the growing confluence of power wielded by what he referred to as the military-industrial complex. He was referring, of course, to the Pentagon and the businesses making weapons of war and defense and their growing nexus of power. So what does this have to do with California water? Well, listen to President Eisenhower, but think about water. Who controls it? Who owns it? Who manipulates rivers, builds dams, and who continues to demand more and more water resources?
The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists, and the power of money is ever present and is gravely to be regarded. You and I and our government must avoid the impulse to live only for today, plundering for our own ease and convenience the precious resources of tomorrow.
Eisenhower's warning about the military-industrial complex applies perfectly to the status of water politics in California today. Water is the new cash crop. If the water bond passes, a small group of powerful players get richer at the expense of taxpayers and the state's natural resources.
Primary negotiators was the Westlands Water District, 600 growers, and the Metropolitan Water District. They're the two big boys at the table. The Delta area legislators were excluded from the negotiations and the putting together of this bill.
California cannot grow its prosperity and jobs if we cannot ensure a reliable supply of water.
Among the many arguments in favor of the bond, you will hear that expanding the rights to sell public water for profit will help alleviate drought situations. But remember recent history and think about energy deregulation and the Enron debacle. How did that work out?
The water buffaloes in California who profit from the transfer of these waters, in fact, have some of the most sophisticated public relations you can imagine. They are enormously wealthy. And so it's just to be expected that they will tell the voters that they have to vote for this or the water will be turned off. It will benefit a very small number of very wealthy people, and it will destroy the environment, and at the same time, it will poison the water system of the people in Southern California.
Just to be clear, the ability to buy government-provided water at low cost and sell it to needy buyers was part of a congressional law passed in 1992. The Central Valley Project Improvement Act was written to encourage water conservation. Unfortunately, in actuality, the law has been twisted and manipulated by greedy individuals at corporate agriculture into a fluid cash cow. In 1994, a dairy farmer in Los Banos tried to carry out a nearly $6 million deal with Southern California's Metropolitan Water District. It was a deal that didn't happen, not because it was illegal, but because of the heat generated by media coverage. But times have definitely changed. In 2009, a $77 million sale was completed, and at the end of the year, another big water-for-profit sale was in play. But worse yet, in what is an in-your-face, up-yours effort, California Senator Dianne Feinstein is working to change that law and remove any restrictions on water sales, a move specifically designed to benefit her friend and campaign supporter, Beverly Hills billionaire Stuart Resnick, and his huge and expanding agricultural empire in Kern County. The water pirates are very busy these days, essentially saying to taxpayers, up yours. We're not making this stuff up, it's happening. The game of the water pirates is simple. Change the laws so that a public resource, water, largely funded by taxpayer dollars, becomes privatized. When that happens, it's game over, and you can flush away any hope of restoring salmon runs or protecting the health of the Delta and the San Francisco estuary. But then, the water pirates don't care about this nursery for baby salmon, baby crabs, and so many more species that make it the most important estuary in both North and South America. They care about profit and power, a pirate's dream, and they will say anything to sell their greedy vision. Fight back. Vote no on the water bond, and talk to your friends, family, and coworkers about what you've seen in this video. Together, we can stop the pirates and make what has been wrong right again. Salmon water, now.